Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of my Transport Fever series on White Valley. In today's episode, we're going to start off here in the town of Prince Dobster, because I just want to make one or two small changes. The small change is that I just want to go ahead and basically add a second street connection. That's all I want to do, nothing too big. And then we're going to go ahead and finish off connecting up to other towns. That's what I want to do in this next episode. I should be able to go ahead and successfully achieve that. Have every single town connected up in some way. Most by rail, though Thax will be by bus. But all in all, things are looking good for all towns really. Right now, the only two towns I believe we don't have connected up in some form are Goldmine, which are now as a railway to, which I'm currently in the process of updating. And then also over to Fordwich, which arguably I would be really tempted to just do by bus, but I think we need to do a railway line from Kendal through Goldmine, through Fordwich into Newton Abbot. Now in the last episode, or the last two episodes, we started a new railway from Newton to Spalding. Newton itself is doing not too bad. It's got a lot of regular bus services for that matter, and they are doing quite well. As you can see, 47 people are leaving the town to go up to this junction here, which you can change for Coburn, Hetton up that direction, or you can go to Thaxted along in that direction. As we can see here, things are pretty busy here as well. They're a lot quieter than they once were, but it's because we've got a lot of increased capacity now, which is nice to see. You're coming in with 32 people on you, which is quite a nice amount. A lot of people waiting to go up to Hetton and Newton, which I'm surprised. Why have you not picked anyone up when there is a lot of people waiting? I mean, they might have just got off a bus, to be fair. So anyway, things are very much on the up here, which is nice to see. But we're going to go ahead and connect up Fordwich and then also finish off the rest of this, because I didn't really finish it in the last episode, did I? Alright, so for the town of Fordwich, where is a train station going to lie? Realistically, it's going to have to lie over here. But the ground doesn't look too flat, unfortunately. If I go ahead, and I really should always build railway lines with contour lines, you know that, but I never do. Let's make those cutbacks there. Then let's go ahead and take a train station. Very much most train stations we're building these days are the same. Now, a few differences from the last episode as well is that there's additional mods in the game, which I will talk about shortly, but one of the most important being that there is no longer free terraforming. I thought that was a bit too easy for myself, so as we can see now, things are going to cost me money. Now, small changes like these aren't going to cost a lot of money, for example, but large terraforming for railways might, and that's why I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and put them into the game. Okay, so this is going to be fun. So first of all, if my mouse could play ball, that would be great. What we need to do is we need to connect over to Newton Abbot, so it's probably best to build out a Newton Abbot first, just because it's going to be quite hectic. What I actually want to do is I want to go underground here. Realistically, though, that isn't going to happen, is it? Can we build that there, and then build another track into there like that? So we can do that, which is good. And then what I want to do is, realistically there's going to have to be a tunnel to come up here, and this is where without free terraforming, things are going to get extremely expensive. So this tunnel is going to come out onto this plateau over here, so this is going to be one of our most expensive tunnels yet. However, just based on the hill, it's going to have to be built, unfortunately, so we're going to allow for that there. Although you can get some decent speed. This is the longest tunnel in our map by far. And again, very much I've been against building tunnels and having lines go naturally through hills, but this is one which I think just needs to be done. So that's the difficult part over with. Now what we need to do is go ahead and, I mean, if we can realistically tame this a little bit, then that would be nice, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. I'm going to go ahead and cut this back a little bit. The problem is that farm there, or it's not a farm, it's a forest, is it? Yeah, it's a forest. I need to go ahead and work that back a little bit. Right, it's probably better if I go ahead and select railway tracks, isn't it? Then what I want to do is I want to have this come over here like that, for example. That would be nice. So again, keeping a nice speed through there. And then we'll go ahead and connect that into here. And then from here we're going to come across and we're going to cross this road, hopefully successfully. And then we're going to turn our attention and build out of Fordwich. So from here, this should be quite easy to do. What we're going to do is we're going to have you build out to here. Then, can we cross the road? Unsuccessfully. We cannot cross the road. So we'll delete the road, and then we'll go ahead and replace it at a later stage. So what I want to do is might have to have a bridge here. I think we might have to actually. We're going to go ahead and actually take this line from here. Try and keep the speed. We could actually just go for something like that. I mean, that keeps a lot of speed in the corners. 124. Does have quite a large bridge, mind you. But I don't mind it. It's quite close to the ground. Okay, we'll go for that there. And this means now we can go ahead and sort out this road. Now, while we're at this, I could go ahead and upgrade the road, but I don't think there'd actually be the demand for now. So that is the road that we're going to make. So that little change there isn't too bad at all, and I'm quite happy with that indeed. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so this has started off well. What I've got now is I've got a track over to Fordwich, so now I just need to connect up Goldmine and the town of Fordwich, and we should be good to go. Interestingly, we've got 2 forests and we've got 2 plank making areas over here, so it's maybe good that we start some new industry, especially for the smaller towns. Thax, Goldmine, Fordwich and Newton Abbot. Arguably Thax and Newton Abbot aren't that small anymore, but they are still smaller compared to all the other towns. If we go ahead and start something over here and let these towns grow a little bit, I think that would be really beneficial. So with that said, let's go ahead and get this new railway extension underway. So we're going to have to cross 2 roads coming out of here, which isn't a problem at all. Again, right now, the game seems to be freezing a lot. I do not have a lot of applications open, so it is quite odd. That's probably not going to work. We're best building out of Goldmine first, actually. We're going to go ahead and have a nice large section of track there. Then what I want to do is, we're going to have to cut this back already, unfortunately. Just because of the fact it's not going to be ideal. I need a more aggressive corner, so we're going to go ahead and have a nice large corner like that, keeping at least 100 miles per hour, and then this is where we'll be able to go ahead and pick up some nice speeds, travel along there, and then we'll be able to connect that into there. 186 mile an hour, ladies and gentlemen, and that is very much what I am after. So let's go ahead and now double up all this track. Again, this corner is the slowest part, but 1, we're on a station approach, and 2, it's not actually that slow anyway, which is good. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm just going to skip this part because it is going to take me a while. So need to double up this track here in between Kendal and the town of Goldmine. I need to do the same essentially from Goldmine to Fordwich. And I believe we probably need to do the same between Fordwich and Newton Abbot. And I'm going to go ahead and signal it to go ahead and save us some time. So let me go ahead and skip forward and achieve this. And just like that, we've managed to go ahead and achieve the line. It's totally complete, and we've gone ahead and added signals. I've never realised actually how long this tunnel is. It's really long through this mountain, but you also have to consider how steep this hill is. And I could possibly have gone around it, but it would have been going ahead and destroying a lot of houses, and then really weaving up the hill. And even at that, I don't know how easy a train would actually get up that gradient anyway. I think it would just manage it. But again, it would be a very roundabout way. At another stage, so I could quite easily go ahead and change the train or add in a second railway line coming into the other side of Newton Abbot, because eventually one day I do see us connecting up Thax. That is a possibility, but it depends on the demand. It depends on quite a few different things. So let me go ahead and let's make a train line. So what we're going to do is start it off here in the town of Newton Abbot. We're going to go over here to Fordwich. Then continue down the line to Goldmine, or Godalming, or whatever it used to be called. That train station name's not updated though, but it's Goldmine, and then into Kendal. And we're going to simply just do the reverse, like so. So this is now the T, and this is the train of all trains. We're going from Kendal to Newton Abbot, which I'll do nicely. Now, because we've got, and I'm going to take this from actually past previous experience, and we're actually going to go ahead and check on another train. So, currently we have 2 towns which are connected up. Kendal, I would say, quite well. Newton Abbot in the middle, I would say, because it's connected by a bus and then a train, which there's not that high a demand, I feel, on that train yet. But there's 2 new towns we're connecting up to, which so far, currently, do not have any connections. And based on their populations, which I'm going to check very, very shortly, I can imagine it's going to be quite on the low side. 250? Not even 200 in Fordwich. And then Goldmine is oddly quite a lot higher. I think maybe because it's quite close to Kendal, which is well connected. Though in saying that, there is no road straight over there. But there's a road to Thax, and Thax is up near 800. It's actually 1,000 now. Wowee. Doesn't look like it, to be fair, but it's the density there. It very much is. A lot of buildings in the centre here are very dense. This one has 22 people, whereas a lot of the buildings very much in these other towns, for example Fordwich, its best building will probably be maybe a density of 3 people. That is a shop, isn't it? Yeah, commercial building. What about residential? You must be residential. Yeah, so that's a residential building. This is probably the most dense, and it's got 3 residents. I don't think any would have 4 yet in this town. Maybe over here? Okay, so these have 6. But, I mean, there's only 2 of them, and they're right beside the railway line, so kind of interesting there. I've also noticed as well, I don't think you're high speed based on your track colour, so that's a small upgrade as well. But this line is going to have 2 towns which were not connected up yet. And that is very similar to a new line we implemented a few episodes ago, which goes from Telscombe up here to Somerton and Derham. Now how is it doing? I put 5 trains onto this route, just because I thought, you know, the towns are quite far apart, and to be fair they are, it's going to take quite a while to get round all of these different train stations. So let me go ahead and play the game and let's find a train and see how we're doing on this route. So 35 people, very much on the up. Though it has taken a long time to get to this stage. And I feel as well, especially with the distance, I feel we're going to run into sort of some similar issues. And also importantly to note, the route is in the negative. Currently they're at a loss of about 3 million there, which isn't good. The train is getting a little bit busier, but all in all, it's not a profitable route. So that is something which I want to go ahead and avoid, and we're going to go for smaller trains on this new route shortly, just because I want to be able to make money off the route very, very quickly indeed. What I am doing though is just going ahead and sorting out the automatic replacement for this route ASAP, just so we go ahead and are ready for that. I want to try and make most routes on automatic replacements, though I didn't want to do the now. That was a mistake. But hey ho, anyway, things are on that line doing not too bad. Eventually I think the towns will grow to allow for that demand. However, for the time being I don't think we're there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put trains on the track over here. But I'm going to put smaller trains in those trains. Now those trains are trains from the French Rail National Carrier, I believe. And they are very, very good trains in what they are. They're 144-seater and they have a low maintenance cost per year. That's why I tend to lean towards them. These are these trains here. The Z8100s. A running cost per year, maintenance cost, same sort of thing, but it's a very low for the amount of capacity. It probably is, based on capacity to running cost ratio, it's probably one of the lower ones. But what I think we're going to do is we're going to go for these trains. So they only go about 75 miles per hour, but their running cost is really low, and their capacity is quite low, which I feel 90 would be fine. Though I am going to take a consideration at these diesel trains actually. What about, I mean these go faster. What about, I feel we could do with maybe 72-seater trains. We might be better going with these actually. So if we compare these directly, they can carry 72 people, they can go 99 miles per hour, and they cost 1.84 million. Whereas this train here, or this train which we'd probably put on, so it can't go as fast, it can't carry as many people, though the running cost is about a good, I don't know, maybe 50% sort of lower? Yeah, roughly that. I don't know what we're going to go for here actually. I think we might go for the 56s. Let's go for these guys. So it is diesel, but 56 people, and let's buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, just because the line is quite long I feel, and I do feel it'll take a while to get from one side to the other. Right, okay, so here we are. Kendal to Newton is good to go. So that now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is every single town on this map connected up, which is nice to see. So we need to add trams into Goldmine and Ford, which we will do very, very shortly. though I'm going to fly around the map and just double check and make sure that statement is accurate. And I do believe it is, ladies and gentlemen, so there we have it, all towns are connected up. I cannot believe it's taken a while, but I'm glad it is finally here. Right, so with that said now, let's go ahead and add in some trams, and also want to add in a new bus route as well from Kendal to Thaxt, so Thaxt, and probably Goldmine as well, so Thaxt can be accessed from multiple different towns, not just this junction over here. And I guess Thaxt is going to be the king of buses for quite a while actually. I think that'd be nice to see, just so the town can continue to grow at the rate it's growing, because it is doing well. It's just not got any trains, but I don't think Thaxt is ever going to be at a stage where it's going to have lots of people coming from one direction. I think lots of people might come from multiple different directions, which isn't a bad thing by any means. Okay, so now let's get things underway here. Let's start in the town of Goldmine, and let's go ahead and build a tram. Now the train station is very much at one end of town, it only covers a small portion of town, so this connection percentage, line usage, whatever you may call it, is quite poor and it's not updated yet, but when it does, this train station doesn't cover a lot, so we definitely need a tram to go into this town to go ahead and help serve the people. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a turning circle down here. I've got an idea for a rough tram route in this town. I think it's actually quite an easy town to go ahead and lay a tram out in. So let's go ahead and start off with a turning circle down here. Now I've deleted a lot of buildings here, but anything near a train station will build up very, very quickly indeed. Let's come along here. Can we build down these streets without destroying everything? We can right round the edges actually, so what we're going to do is we're going to allow for this. Gonna have you come along here. Now, I would realistically like to go around the block or along there, but that's not gonna happen unfortunately. So you're gonna come down here and then we're gonna come around this block here. So that is the line, not too bad. And then while we're at it in this menu, we're gonna do the same for Fordwich. Fordwich is a really interesting town actually, which is gonna need a turning circle over here. I think we're just going to do a really proper classic figure of 8 actually here. So let's go ahead and do that there. That's the one figure. And then let's go ahead and do the second figure there. Though that isn't going to allow me to do that. I'll reconstruct that road, but I mean, it's the most classic figure of 8 we've ever done. Or done in a long time anyway. So let's make that change. Let's go ahead and draw that from there into there. And with that said, we can go ahead and first of all I'm going to build the tram stops, that's very important, or the tram depot, sorry, and then we'll go ahead and build our tram stops. With that tram depot built, we'll just go ahead and sort out this town first of all. So let's have our stop at the station, let's have a stop over here by these buildings, and let's have a stop on like the main street. Now we're going to have like 2 stops very close together here at the crossover, which is fine, so we'll allow for that, and we'll allow for that, a stop there, and then it will go into the station, which is fine. Come down here and have some more stops. We'll have to have a stop here just because I expect this area to be built out eventually. Have another stop there, and that is Fordwich good to go for trams. So let's go ahead and build the line. Start you here at Park Lane, then we're going to travel to Church Street, we're going to travel to... Now, do I go directly across? I think we will, actually. So this is going to be a one-way tram, which I know one-way trams aren't always the best, but it's going to bring people connected up. That's really what I'm aiming for here. Along to St John's Road, into Highfield Road, and there we have it. So this is the TR, and this is the town of... I've just said it like 8 times. Fordwich is what it is, which is nice. Right, okay, so that's that set up. Now, because this is a one-way tram, I really don't think it is going to do well at all, especially based on the town size as well. So we're going to go for T1s, going to go ahead and buy 4 T1s, which I think could even be generous, I'm not going to lie to you there. And this is going to go into the TR Fordwich, so good luck to that route there, hopefully it will do well. Now what I want to do is, there is a line 1 route in with here which is annoying me, so let's go ahead and we'll use this line 1, a nice pink colour. Let's go ahead and see, it looks like we've got some people waiting up there, which is nice, but I need to go ahead and build the bus stops, or the stops that this line's going to serve. So let's have a stop over there, Let's have a stop up at the station. Then let's go ahead and have a stop over just by this large junction here. This junction goes out of town down to a factory. Let's have another stop in these factories here. And another one. This is quite an industrial side of town. Another one along this large streets here. Another one at this very important junction as well. Coming down here. Then we can have one up here and we can have one over here. And that will do the trick. So let me go ahead and close out of that. And this is going to be more of a point-to-point route. So we'll have a one-way circle going round here anyway. Like so. And then it'll come along and basically just do a point-to-point until it gets to the turning circle at the bottom or now in the middle of my screen here. And then it's going to come back up via Church Lane, Main Road, New Road, George Street, Kingsway, Springfield Road, and then voila. So this is the TR and this is the town of Goldmine, which is handy. So that is that sorted. Now I think this town will do a little bit better just based on its population, and also I think that it's quite flat. I suppose so is Fordwich as well, so you would maybe expect it to grow that little bit faster. But let's go ahead and put the tram depot out here just a little bit out the way. So tram depot, let's go ahead and rotate you, not close you. M and N, the good old rotate button, so we'll have you there. Now this town I think could handle mirages going forward, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go for 6 and be a bit ambitious here. So I think for the first wee while it will be in the negative, but I think this town's going to grow quite quickly going forward, which should be nice to see. So this is the TR and this is Goldmine, so off you trams go, and that should really make a difference for this railway line. As we can see, this train's left, it's got 4 people, but 23 people want to go to Kendal, which is a fair amount, and that's even before the tram has properly started. On top of this, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to build up this road here from Thaxt out to the good old town of Kendal, just so we can go ahead and get an extra connection in here to the town of Thaxt. This bus has got 2 people on it, but it's basically ended its route. This is where it ends. This is its turning circle for the bus here. So for it to already have 15 people after one stop, really, it's doing pretty well. Quite excited to go ahead and connect this town up. I'm not going to go ahead and have any large depots, I don't think, but what we're going to do is see all these stops in the middle here. I'll have the Kendal bus go around and use this as a turning circle so people can basically jump buses, and I'll have the same actually from Goldmine as well, I think. So that's another reason why I think Goldmine will grow particularly quickly. What I am going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and rebuild the road in between Kendal and Thaxt, just so we can go ahead and get a nice, really straight super highway, which I've been building quite a few of these now across the map. So let me allow for, I suppose we can upgrade that street actually, then let's go ahead and build from there. So let's have you come right into there, very direct and very much more appropriate. Then what I want to do, I'm happy to keep the bridge the way it is, but the approach to the bridge is very meander-esque. And then the same with the exit actually as well. So, let's add in that nice straight section there. Let's add in this nice straight section there. And then let's go ahead and build that there. Now the bridge, we can upgrade the bridge. And voila, so that is this new, much improved road. And we're still connected into our oil refinery there as well. Looking much straighter. I'll tidy up the terraforming later. With regards to the Goldmine Road, it's really straight, so I'm going to keep it like that, but I am going to upgrade it just for its, not namesake, but I just feel it could do with an upgrade. I very much want a lot of these rural roads being upgraded, and we'll go ahead and do something similar here. Though I can't do that section there for some reason, it must be an awkward junction. And then that runs right into the town of Fordwich as well. I'm not going to do a bus from Fordwich to Thaxt, but that looks much better. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and build some buses, some more bus routes, which shall be exciting. Let's get started. So let's go into Line Manager and let's go ahead and start to create this line. So the infrastructure at this end is going to be quite easy. Let's go ahead and call at Victoria Road and then up to York Place, or York Road, Queen Street, round the avenue, and then we're going to come back down Victoria Road. We're going to stop in at Chester Road, which is good, yep, and then this is going to make the journey over to the town of Kendal. Now, what are we going to do here? I think I just want to go for a pretty direct approach, actually. So what we're going to do is call it Albert Road, we're going to call it North Street, we're going to call it Highfields Road, and then we could actually come out at Richmond Road as well, which should be fine. So, I mean, that is going to overlap with the tram a bit, but I think hopefully that basically people who want to connect with the train station can. That's really the main thing, and then that will allow for that bus to hopefully do not too bad. You know, I'm quite optimistic about these additional buses we're adding in here. So this is the B, and this is from Kendal to Thaxted, which is perfect. So that's one of the bus routes done. Now, the route over to here, I think it's going to be quite similar with Goldmine, actually. We might add in an extra bus stop over here, though. We're going to do that. We're going to add in one extra bus stop. Let's add an extra bus stop over here, for example, just so we can serve this corner of town. So let me close out of that and that. So let's start off here. I mean, the main thing is I want to connect up to train stations. That's really what I want to do. Then we'll go ahead and call in at the green. Then we'll take this long road down here, and then this is going to be a much easier route. So we're going to go ahead and jump around this triangle that way. So that is clockwise. I need to make sure there's not... Let me just go ahead and have a look here. Yeah, so that's fine. So the dark green route goes ahead and serves both sides, and then we've got the light green route coming from Goldmine going one way. It looks like that's clockwise, and then we've got the Kendal route going anti-clockwise. So it means that there is an even spread across this triangle of bus stops here, which is nice. Don't want to go ahead and cause any unnecessary traffic, and then from there, going to come back to the green. And then that should solve all of our problems. What I might do is after Queen Street we'll come up and we'll stop in there at London Road as well, additionally. So I mean this only has 7 stops. It's quite a short route with regards to stops. I mean the length of it between the two towns, there is a bit of distance to be fair. But this is now, we're in the town of Goldmine and we're going to Thaxted, which is nice and dandy. Okay, so all we need to do now is go ahead and add in buses. We're going to add in a bus depot, the town of Thaxted, just because I think that would make relatable sense based on to the routes come through Thaxted. So let's build a bus depot on the edge of town here. Now the question is, what buses am I going to go for? This is a good one because I'm really not at all sure. I would maybe like to start off with City Bus 1. Though I'm not at all sure if that would be the best idea. Though I really don't know what else. I mean, I don't want to go for big intercity buses like these right now because I don't think they would fill up. And I think, I mean, the City Bus 1, we're going to go for City Bus 1s because they have a low running cost as well. So let's go ahead and get 6 of you guys. And let's put yous on the Goldmine route. And then let's go ahead and get 6 of you guys and let's put you on the Kendal route. I do think the Kendal route will be more popular, but I think Kendal is a shorter distance. So let's do Kendal to Thaxted, which should just be over there, which we can see. What is further away? Is it Kendal or is it Gold? Kendal's definitely... It's definitely closer. Not by too much, but it is closer, I would say. So, I mean, I think there will be a higher demand as well, just with Kendal. One thing I also actually want to do is we're going to add in another bus stop, I think, to this route as well, just to go ahead and make it that little bit better. So let's add the bus stop in here. Let me go ahead and jump into this route here. So that is bus stop number 7, so before 7 is 6. So Chester Road, then into the avenue. Then after 11, we're going to stop in here at the avenue once more, which is nice. I think actually we're missing a stop here as well, so after the avenue, we need to call in here at Chester Road, which is nice. So that resolves our issue. Alright, so let's go ahead and speed things up, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Thaxted. Hopefully connected up that little bit better. It's at now 50%. The population has dropped slightly, I think it was at, because I think it was at 1,100? I had a feeling it was. But, I mean, the town itself is doing really, really well. Anyway, right, just coming over here, we're seeing a lot of people wanting to go to Kendal, which is nice. How are these trams doing, for that matter? This tram's coming up for the station with 0 people, not good in the slightest. You've got 0 people on you. There's actually people waiting on the buses already, which is nice. I'm liking that view. There's a lot of people waiting for a train, but there seems to be no train coming along. All the trains are probably grouped together right now. That's probably my big concern. How are you doing? You've got 17 people, which isn't too bad. How are we doing over here at this station? Because this is an interchange station. So 7 people coming in there. How many people on this one? 26. So that's an increase on the Spalding route, that's for sure. How many people? 21 people leaving the station on that bus. So all in all, we're definitely doing well on increased numbers. There is a lot more issues in other towns, but all in all, out in this part of the world, we're now connected up. Kendal has definitely got, I feel, a bit busier. I feel its trams could maybe do an upgrade. What trams have we got here? Yeah, we're only on T1s. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade the Kendal trams to Mirages, I think. Where are we here? So, yeah, you guys are... I mean, you're not profitable, but the reason is because one of the frequency, I think. So we need to add more trams in here. So we're going to keep the T1s, but we're going to go ahead and just add 3 new trams into Kendal. For the time being. And I think, I mean, that's going to add in, what, 40 extra seats onto the route and make it much more frequent. So I think that should do the job. And it connects in with... Oh, there is a bus station in Kendal. Interesting. I could extend the bus over to there if I wanted to, but I don't think I really do. To be honest, I think it is fine the way it is. If it goes near the train station, then that's fine. And if people do want to go to this station, then they can do quite easily. Alright, so with that said, that's all the towns connected up. Really crazy, eh? I'm surprised it's taken this many episodes, to be fair. It probably shouldn't have taken 28 episodes, but it's done. So Fordwich and Somerton, actually, really weirdly, is the second smallest town. Thought it'd be Goldmine, but I'm expecting most of these towns to increase to over 1,000 people quite quickly. Fordwich should grow, and it is already starting to grow. It was on 180 people at the start of the episode, so it is doing well. What we're going to do in the next episode, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to turn our attention back over here to ships. The reason is because, and just cargo in general, I've got some new ships into the game. These are some of the new mods which we have. We have the Hamburg, which I'm quite excited about going ahead and implementing. It's a much bigger, larger container ship, which I can also get oil on as well. I can't get, is it crude oil? I can't get crude oil on it though, can I? Oh, can I? No, I can't. Right, that's really frustrating, so we're going to have to stick with the Merlin. The problem is the Merlin, too many boats. Boats are like waiting here, basically. I've got one too many boats in this channel, which isn't good. But outside of that as well, I would also like to touch on planes. I think it's time we go ahead and get a plane route into the sky, which I'm looking forward to, but we'll deal with all that in the next episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you have enjoyed this. Please leave a like, rate, and subscribe if you are new around here. Go down into that comment section below, give me some feedback, and I'll be sure to go ahead and have a look at it and integrate it into future episodes. I'm happy with the progress, ladies and gentlemen, very much am, so it's now time to go ahead and kick on and get to that next stage. We're going to take to the sky. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.